Alrighty, so today I want to go over the best teams within Dokkan. This is sort of going to be the November 2024 edition for this specific set of videos, right? You guys know, like once a month or so during major celebrations, I kind of like to update the top 10 best teams and stuff like that. So in this video, I'm going to just be going over a few teams, what I like about them, what I don't like about them, and we'll kind of go from there, right? So you guys can see here, we are looking at the first team that I have on the list. You guys know this one is a tried and true certified hood classic, right? The Superheroes, Miraculous Awakening, Bond of Master and Disciple sort of iteration of the Beast Gohan team. Now, the Beast Gohan team, we're kind of going to branch these into one specific setup, right? So if you guys are looking for a team build or something, here's one that I like to use with Beast Gohan. So if you want to kind of write this one down or just use it in your own gameplay, you can go ahead and do so. Now, when it comes to replacements for this team, the first thing I would be looking to do is to be taking physical Gogeta Blue off of this setup because of Tech UI. But on the JP, I do not have the Tech UI. We will be going over to Global to take a look at a few things, so I just want you to keep that in mind. But with this specific team, you get access to a bunch of different categories, right? So the first thing that we need to do is filter it by superheroes, and then the second thing we want to do is filter it by Bond of Master and Disciple. And Bond of Master and Disciple, I always lose track of where this one is. It's I believe it's this one right here, right? We go to partial match, and if we see Future Gohan, that means we got it right. We see Future Gohan, so that means we got it right. So Bond of Master and Disciple is a really good way to kind of filter out this team. And then the last thing we need to do is go filter it by Miraculous Awakening, because that is another leader that that Beast Gohan has in his arsenal. So when we go to Miraculous Awakening and we keep that on partial, you guys can see that we have a bunch of different options here, right? So keep that in mind when we look at this, right? We have a bunch of different good characters. We have characters like Orange Piccolo, the Gammas, right? These are going to be characters that you could potentially throw in here. If you wanted to go with like a more pure superheroes route, what you potentially could do is take Broly off of the squad and then remove Beast Gohan. And then what you want to do is put the Gammas here and then add Beast Gohan in that spot, right? So superheroes, Beast Gohan, stuff like that. I think that this team is really good still. Not much has changed overall for how I feel about this team. So here you guys can see, I think that the Beast Gohan superhero sort of setup, this team is still going to have high relevancy in a lot of different events still. Turn 1, it has plenty of good options. Beast Gohan is obviously going to be good turn 1. AGL UI Goku is going to be good turn 1. Evolution Blue, Vegeta, if he takes a couple hits in that first spot, this character is going to be looking very good. So the superheroes team, I think this team's going to be working out very well for you. Let's head over to Global for the next team that I want to talk about. And keep in mind, these are not ranked. These are just going to be some of the best teams. But let's head over to Global for the next team I want to talk about. Okay, so next up on the list, we have the Movie Bosses setup. Now, Tech Beerus is the Super Easy 8 for Tech Beerus, so keep that in mind. I just haven't gotten around to getting the Awakening and Super Awakening and all that stuff done for him just yet. So that character is going to be the Super Easy 8 if you have them, but a character that you could also potentially put in that spot if you don't have Beerus. This one's actually super easy. What you want to do is kind of hover towards a character like Cell Max. You could use a character like Turles, right? There's a bunch, the Broly trio, Bio Broly if you want to go for a more uncontrollable power route. This team has a bunch of good options, right? The Tech Broly Easy A, if you have them, that is going to work out very well. So if you want to run a version like that, you can. But what makes this team unique and specific is we can kind of make a different version of it, which is very similar, right? We want to go with Int Broly's leader skill, and then we're going to get access to uncontrollable power as well as planetary destruction. So what we can do is we can go like that. We do uncontrollable power. We, I don't know why we lost it there, but where is it? Uncontrollable power, uncontrollable power. What happened to it? Come on, game. Oh, it did. Shout out to autocorrect. There we go. So uncontrollable power, and then we want to go to planetary destruction, right? And then we want to kind of filter it out that way, and then we get access to some other characters. We can kind of, set it up like this just for the sake of doing things. I have to do the Super Easy 8 for Kid Buu as well, but Cell Max is going to be super, super helpful for running a setup like this, and overall, it is still going to be one of the best in the game for sure. So that's something that you're definitely going to want to look into if you are playing and planning to use this team. STR Cell Max is just going to kind of be like the glue that holds this team together. I know right now this is a bit of a scuffed version of it, but the Super Easy 8 for Kid Buu, you got to put that on there. You can put Turles potentially in that spot. It's going to work out just fine. So do keep that in mind. I think this team is actually really good. The Movie Bosses setup, especially if you run like LR Janemba in that spot as well. Was I just not like looking at that right? Yeah, we need to do partial match. That's going to make this look a lot better. Okay. There we go. So now what we can do is filter this and make it look a little bit better, right? We want to toss like Turles on this team. We could toss Janemba on this team. We could also, or we would take like Turles off the team. And we would put you here, and then we put somebody like you here, because that's going to give the full buff for Bio Broly, and that's going to work out very nicely. So I think that a Broly-centered Movie Bosses, planetary destruction, all of that stuff, it's going to work out very well when you kind of set it up with this team, right? So that's going to be really helpful. movie bosses, planetary destruction, all that stuff. This is kind of a different way that you can run all of these different teams. There's obviously going to be more ways than just the way that I'm showing you in this video, but with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Alrighty, so next up on the list, I need you guys to bear with me here. Where it shows STRUI, I want you to just pretend that that is Tech Ultra Instinct Goku, okay? So we all get that. For Kamehameha, this team is going to be very good. You guys can see we have a lot of modern, really good characters on this team, right? 4 of the first, honestly, like all of these characters are fairly modern, right? We have Worldwide Goku, or Gohan. We have the Worldwide Trio. We have the Tech Gogeta EZA, who happened during Worldwide. We have AGL UI Goku, who EZA during the 9th anniversary. We have Tech UI for Global, who came out during the 9th anniversary, and then Evo Ken, who EZA during the 9th anniversary. So this is a very modern team. It has orb changing. It has physical orb changing. We have slot 1 dodge. We have slot 1 defense, right? When we get to turn 4 with Gogeta, we have a character that's just doing all types of crazy things. Tech UI with his domain. This team is just going to work out very well. And when it comes to iterations of pure Kamehameha, the options right now are actually a little bit different because you can take advantage of a few things, right? So if you didn't want to run Ultra Instinct Goku, what you potentially could do is run Super Saiyan 4 Goku right here because of the buffs that they have. You could run potentially the 3-year anniversary LRs during this buff period that they have, where they are just like stupid good because of the buffs that the games are giving out, right? If you are running in a stage that like doesn't have an EZA or doesn't have a lock, you could potentially run the 5-year EZAs with their guaranteed dodging on turn 4. Very valuable things that this team still has, and it's going to work out really well for you. So I think that pure Kamehameha, this is a really good team, especially if you're going to run like Tech UI on it or something like that. I think that this team works out very well, and overall right now I think it is one of the best teams in the game. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Okay, so next up we have a version of the Trios team. This team can kind of be worked around in multiple different ways, but this is sort of the way I just cooked it up real quick, right? With the Trio, you guys know that they're going to need their movie heroes buffs or their all-out struggle buffs, right, in order to get the full thing that they're doing. But with the support that this team has, and just the overall power that you're going to be able to see with this team, I think it's going to work out very well, right? I think the most replaceable units on this team are Vegito as well as Bulma, Evo Ken as well. But what I like about Evo Ken is the sort of help that he's giving out to the Trio, as well as the Rainbow Orb changing. I think that is a really valuable part of that unit's kit, and it's going to work out very well for you, right? Running double of the Trio, you guys know how crazy that support is, the 77%. Running Gohan, he's one of the hardest hitting units in the game. Tech Gogeta is still probably pound for pound the best unit in the game when he transforms, but again, that transformation isn't always just going to be like at your side turn 1, so you do have to kind of set it up in order to get to that position, but I think it's going to work out pretty well for you. I like this team. I think it can hold its own in most events, right? Sometimes with locking and AoEs, this is a little bit tough, but not many teams are just like lock and AoE proof, right? That is one thing I'm sure you guys know at this point with this game, that it's going to be really, really difficult to work around that at times. So do keep that in mind. This team I think is going to be really good for you though. Kind of looking at the options on this one, you could potentially throw like Piccolo in here. So it's like, let's just say you don't want to run Vegito, right? You could toss Piccolo in here to take away AoEs and supers. We could potentially move somebody off and you'll be able to make this work, right? I think that this team, just the vast majority of our like plethora of options that you have for like power, you could run like Gogeta if you don't have Bulma, right? Let's say you didn't pull Gohan, you got unlucky and didn't pull him, right? You can put Future Gohan in this spot, you can put Vegito in this spot. If you need like a pinch revival, you can get away with running like the GT duo, throw Bulma there again, right? Like it's just, this team has a wide variety of options that the Super Saiyan Trio is going to be able to kind of help hold down, right? We always talk about how good the Trio is and how they make units look better. This is just going to be a classic case in point for that. So here's another version of the team. I think the Super Saiyan Trio is one of the best teams in the game. Let's go ahead and move on to the last one for this specific video, and we will be all up out of here. Okay, so last but not least, we have the UI Goku-led Universal Survival Saga team with Entrusted Will, so that way we can run Beast Gohan on this setup. So I'm sure you guys can figure this one out. The Reps of Universe 7 team is really good, and if you potentially want to take Beast Gohan off of the setup, you could potentially replace him with a character like in Android 17 from the Tournament of Power, Android 17 and Universe 7, right? That's a really good character for this spot. And this team is going to work out just fine. We're still waiting for Jiren to drop over on Global Dokkan, but you can potentially run him as well if you want to run like a pure Universal Survival Saga setup. But this is kind of the way that I have it right now, right? I think that this team is going to be really good because it has everything that you're going to need. You have attack, you have defense, you have damage reduction, you have a domain, you have dodge nullification, you have a taunt, right? You have guard, you have guaranteed dodging, we have slot 1 options, we have slot 2 options, we have revives, we have domains, right? This team is just going to be doing a lot of really good things, and you're running some of the best characters in the game with the Universe 7 LRs, and then you're also tying it together with, you know, in my opinion, still the best unit in the game here being Beast Gohan. So, you know, when it comes to kind of like honorable mentions, right? just looking at sort of the categories that I know people like to talk about. I'm sure people are going to be asking about the Dragon Ball Heroes team. As you guys can see, I have no Heroes units on my global, but the Heroes team is fun, but I definitely would not put it on the level of some of these other teams at the moment. So do keep that in mind, right? A pure movie hero setup could work just fine for you, just kind of looking at these options here. I think that you could get away with running something like that. I think a lot of people still like Boo Saga, but this team has definitely seen a little bit of a taper off in the last few months, right? But it still can potentially work. If you want to run Kamehameha, there's a way to set it up where you can run the universal blue Goku and run like Majin Buu on the team at the same time, and there's going to be a lot of different ways that you could set it up. So again, just want to do some of the best teams here. This is not supposed to be like a guide for literally all of the best teams in the game right now, but there we have it, right? So some of the best teams on Global and JP Dokkan right now. Let me know down below what you guys think. Don't forget to leave a like if you did enjoy. I don't think I'm going to be updating this until December because I don't believe with the Hero Celebration we're really going to be getting any major shifts to how this is going to work. Maybe just additions to the best teams, but that's about it. So let me know down below what some of your favorite teams to run in the game are. What are you working with right now, and all that fun stuff. Leave a like, subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you all in the next one.